Hello, hello. Okay, YouTube Studio shows me that we have pretty good connection. In fact, excellent connection, which is pretty nice. Sorry for my voice. As I mentioned, probably I'm going to get sick a little bit, but okay, I think we can have this review session today. So, could you please put some, I don't know, pluses, messages in live streaming channel to confirm that everything is fine, that you can hear me, that you can see my screen? Okay, good. Thank you for your feedback. So, uh, what we are going to do today is review for file manager task, and we will talk a little bit about basic testing and simple CRUD API tasks. Just a brief discussion, plus if you have some questions, I can answer them as well. So, just as always, a quick reminder, what was your task in scope of file manager assignment? You had to implement command line interface application where you are able to pass username on start of application. You can handle some commands. You can make some actions with your file system, with files. You can get some system informations like amount of CPUs, operational system home directory, current system username, CPU architecture, and so on. Plus hash calculation and compress and decompress operations that you are already familiar with. We've done it in scope of basic Node.js task. So everything is fine here. I think it was not so hard for you. It was just about like putting all stuff together. Okay, let's see what we have for today. You sent about, I don't know, 5 solutions. We will take a look at one of them. I like this solution because it's done in simple way. Because, well, if something can be done simple, I think it should be done simple because, okay, you can always complicate things. You can implement I don't know, some high-level abstractions in your code, but I don't think you don't always need it because it complicates implementation. It makes maintenance of this code more difficult. So, yeah. Let's take a look at simple implementation, and if we will have time, we will quickly take a look at a more complex version of this implementation. First of all, we have this good README MD here. So we have brief description of features of the application, requirements that mention that we should use Node.js of version 22, installation guide, clone this repository, no external dependencies are required, okay. And we have instructions on how to use it, how to perform different operations, command completions, limitations, etc. So very good and nice README MD. You can take this as example of good project description. Okay, let's take a look at package.json, and here we have script start, which uses index.js as entry point. So let's take a look what happens inside of it. Here we have this main function, which is async function. It parses command line arguments. After that, it retrieves current working directory, its home directory on system level. And after that, it passes flow into start CLI function. And after start CLI function will finish its job, then we print ending message. Okay, I left a few comments here. Let's take a look at them. Sorry. Why it's not working? Sorry, I forgot to check out. Check out dash. Okay, first of all, a good thing here is that this student used parse args function from Node.js. It was added, if I'm not mistaken, it was added in 18 version of Node.js. It does pretty same stuff that do some external libraries like Commander or Yarg. So you can pass options that can be with one dash or two dashes. You can pass types, and after that it will parse it from command line interface. Strict false we needed here in order to not throw on unknown flags. If strict is false, then we parse only flags that we defined in option level. But anyway, I always like and encourage you to use inbuilt API over library solutions because, well, if it suits your needs, then I think it's just fine. Okay, so this is how we retrieve username from this initial line. Like when we do not index.js, and after that we pass username here. Username will be my name, it's Maxim. Oh, something wrong happened. Index.js. Sorry, my bad. Not src index.js, of course. Okay, welcome to File Manager, Maxim. You are currently in my current home directory. Okay, good. So far, so good. If we do not pass username, then it will be launch for anonymous user. Okay. From my point of view, what can be improved here? It's better not to mix async await syntax with regular promises API in callback style, like getting values using then, handling errors using catch, using finally, etc. So, in my point of view, you could just do something like try await main catch, and there you could have the same code. So it's better not to mix those API styles. Okay, let's switch back and take a look inside of start CLI function, why it's awaited and why all our application waits till it resolves its promise. Okay. First of all, we use readline here. Readline is Node.js inbuilt or core API, which is specifically designed for handling of streams input line by line. So we have command line interface application, which receives input from users line by line. So from my point of view, readline here is a perfect choice for building this functionality for handling user input and writing output. And student used premisified version, which is also good because, as I mentioned, it's better to use premisified versions of APIs. Okay, but don't worry, create interface doesn't return promise. Just in case, we have other premisified functions here. Create interface will just return interface of readline. Okay, we have input, which accepts process stdin as a value, and output is process stdout. So basically, we get data from process stdin and print it into process stdout, which is standard stream for getting values from command line. And also we have completer here. What is completer? Completer is, in simple words, this is what will be called when you press tab. Okay, for example, okay, I can use cd command in my folder, and if I will press tab, I can see some directories that can be used as arguments for my command. This is how completer works. So if we will run npm start and try to press tab, you will see these commands here. So application highlights available commands for us, which is very good, I think. What can be improved here? First of all, this function, namely completer, it's not reused, so it's only used in one place. It's called once, so probably it could be just put here in line. Second thing is please no variables declaration using var keyword. I don't know, maybe this code was taken from some example on MDN or somewhere else. I'm not sure. So please, just a quick reminder, var is legacy, so please use const or let. Preferably const, because let is stash with hidden bugs. Plus, this completer, I assume, is called multiple times. Every time you press tab, it will be called. So if you have some constants like if you have some constants like, okay, list of commands, list of extensions, some other hard-coded values, please put it outside of the function, so it will not be used, it will not be recreated on function, on each function call. Plus, you can use arrow function here, so c index of line equals to 0, c index of line equals to 0. We don't need a return for this kind of stuff, just in case. Yes, I mentioned that readline is a really good choice here. Then we have a map of command handlers, which maps their command itself to its handler. We can see that it's asynchronous functions, mostly, which accepts a different number of arguments, and after that it passes execution to corresponding I don't know, probably it's probably we can name it service, this navigate, file, hash, etc. Probably I would name it, this is my next suggestion, probably I would name it service, because if some Node.js module contains several functions which is scoped by certain functionality, probably this is the service related to this functionality in terms of architecture approach. And after that, we have this handling for user prompt. When every time user prints something into readline interface, readline emits event line, and we can subscribe to this event and handle it. So basically what we do here, let me check whether it launched. Okay, we have some input like ls, for example. So we split this input, this string, by white spaces. So first thing will be a command, and the rest is arguments, which is put into arguments array using rest operator. REST spread operator. If command equals to exit, then we close our readline interface and process is finished. If command is not exit, then we find dedicated handler by command name. If handler is found, then we pass arguments to this handler, and you can see that we destructure it here. And it's good to pass it as is, because we can have as much arguments as we need. And if a command is not found, it's treated as invalid input and we log it into console. Plus, if some error occurred during execution of handler, we log operation failed in console according to task requirements. So let's check it. ls command works. Unknown commands leads to invalid input. And okay, let's try to simulate error. Let's throw new error not implemented. This is from my previous task. I mean, not previous task, from basic.js, let's say, exercises. Okay, operation failed because this error was thrown. So everything works according to the requirements. Okay. What else do we see here? After we handled command, we call readline prompt, which allows user to send the next line. If we would not call it, user would not see this prompt invitation in CLI. And after that, function returns a new promise and it resolves in handler of readline event close. Okay, I got why it made this way, because this is probably about let's say different levels of implementation, because function main only orchestrate our application, and maybe it's correct that we have stuff related to application level, like login of system messages, not related to commands directly. And we can put it here, but I really do not like when people mix async await syntax with promise syntax once again, sorry. So probably this function, it's asynchronous itself. Yeah, it has await instructions, so it's okay that it's asynchronous. Probably we could just remove this promise here. Yeah, and how do we handle this console log? We can simply get username here, provide it into start CLI function as a second argument, and here we can just make this handler on readline close event, and inside of this handler we could put here this console log, and we could avoid using this promise here. Okay. What else? Here we have multiple calls of this console log invalid input. So in case if we would like to change a message for this situation, we will need to change it in multiple places. So my suggestion is to put it into some, I don't know, small arrow function, like print invalid input message, print I don't know, validation message, you name it, and it will contain this console log, and you will need to change it in single place if you decide to change it. Plus, it's not about current implementation, just a thought about how application works. We process user commands by handling offline event. So this application works pretty quickly. Okay, so I have good machine here, so you can see that next command is processed after previous is executed, but in fact it's not correct. We can process multiple commands simultaneously, because if we let's slow down a bit and add set timeout here. Okay, set timeout from promises. It allows us, let's set I don't know, 3 seconds delay, and put await here. So let's restart our application and print ls command, ls, and we will have multiple outputs here. Yeah, you can see my scroll bar, it's jumping. It was not a requirement for this task, but probably we could improve this implementation as we use readline interface. Maybe we could do something like readline pause, okay, and and do readline resume before calling for prompt. Let's check how it works. ls, yeah, and now application is stuck, and you cannot have multiple commands processed simultaneously. From other hand, it has not very good UX because, well, we do not show anything to user, and if I print something while readline was on post, this will be printed into console after we resume process. This happens because readline uses streams, and streams use buffers, and when you print something that cannot be pushed outside of the buffer to destination, it's collected there, and once flow is resumed, we get this information from buffer. Probably we can adjust UX, I don't know, maybe use some approaches with abort signal, maybe we can simply use some pattern like mutex or something like this. But anyway, this is a good thing to think about. Okay, we in case it would be a real world project, you should ask your product team, okay guys, do we allow to process multiple commands simultaneously or not? What are limitations, restrictions, how it will work together, and so on. In scope of this specific task, it doesn't really matter. So okay, let's remove all the stuff, this inline pose and everything else. Okay, git shows to me, we still have the set timeout here. Okay, that's basically how we handle our commands on high level. Okay, good. Let's check for implementation of specific services slash modules. Let's take a look at navigate implementation. Okay, so inside of this module, we have a list of operations, just like we have list of commands on CLI level. Okay, you may wonder why it's not made in form of class, but in general, it's really more dictionary than a class, because it doesn't really share some I don't know, some internal state. It doesn't tightly connect it one to another. For example, methods doesn't reuse each other. So probably it's really better to make it as just map of handlers instead of class. But it can be class as well, up to you, depending on how much complexity you want to put here. And as I mentioned, if we will have time, we will take a look at alternative implementation where it was done in form of class. Okay, so app command just gets their name from current directory. It returns parent directory of current path. If it's the same, because their name works just as we described in assignment. If you are at top level of your file system, for example, in my case, it's this fancy slash folder, you should not go upper. It should be the same. And after that, it returns it. Okay, what else? CD. It works using resolve path utility, and after that we try to get stat of the path. If stat is directory, then we can just go into this directory. If it's not, we throw error. I need to check. I need to check. Okay, await navigate. Navigate. Okay, probably this stuff will be done inside of navigate function. Or is it inside of resolve pass? Is absolute resolve? No, it's about just pass resolution. Okay. Operation cd handler current directory target pass. Directory resolve pass. Okay, it seems to be really virtual current directory here, but it works. Okay, cool. And let's take a look at ls command. We use readdir asynchronous version with file types, which allows us to identify what dir entries we are working with. And after that, we use sort directory contents. Probably we do not call it that much to put it into utils, because really we use it in only single places, in only single place. So probably it could be put inside of navigate module, because we don't reuse it in other places. To it has less abstraction for putting it into utils.js. Okay, and after that we format entries for format that accepts that console table accepts. Yes, you have this inbuilt API to print this fancy table. And let's take a look at my comments, here. Actually, I didn't left it here. Okay, it looks like it was just fine for me. Let's take a look at utils.js. Yeah, sort directory contents a bit confusing, because well, let's take a look at the initial implementation, what it does. We have two arrays of directories and files, and after that we iterate over direct entries and check whether it's a directory or is it file, and depending on this we put it into corresponding array. After that we sort directories and file names alphabetically, and after that we return directories and files. So this function do multiple things. First of all, it extracts from all directories, and files. I remind you that it may be there may be many different types of directories. You can easily check it in documentation. Second thing that this function does is sorting each entries by sorting each entries alphabetically. So probably what we can improve here is change naming a little bit, because okay, I got it. Maybe it doesn't make many sense to separate it into two functions for sorting and extraction of different types of entries. Probably we could just name it differently. Instead of sort directory content, we can name it, I don't know, separate and sort entries, or split and sort entries, extract files and directories, or extract sorted file and directories. I don't know. But sort directory content, this function does not only sorting, so it confuses a little bit. Plus, every time you create some helping variable, and after that you create for loop for you to iterate over some collection of elements, you should think maybe there is a dedicated API in JavaScript that allows you to do it. For example, we have very cool thing. We have reduce, which actually allows us to do everything we need in one API call without creation of these additional arrays. Okay, so we just use object with directories and files properties as accumulator, and after that we push entry into dedicated array and return this accumulator, and this is how we work with it on each iteration with updated version of it. So after that, we will have this directory and files without necessity of creation of these separated variables. I think every time you need something like this, you should use reduce API. But it's minor after all. Not a problem. Okay. Let's see other modules. Just give me a second. I will switch back to students version. And let's take a look at next service, namely file service. Okay. We have multiple operations. First of all is get operation, which reads file content using readable stream. So we resolve paths to our file. We create readable stream using created stream from file system module. After that, we pipe the stream into process out, and on stream end we add into process out new line, because well, when you do console log, it's done for you. This new line before and after your input. If you working with process out itself, you should take care yourself about it. So no objections here, everything looks fine. Stream pipe is also good here. We could add error handling, but for just reading of file content, probably it's not necessary. I'm not sure what should happen here in this code in order to have error inside of reading file content. Okay, add command should create create empty file. So we use write file API from file system module. It's permissified version. We use flag WX for throwing error if this file is already created. Next, we have makedir command, which also uses makedir API from file system module. Okay, good. Rename. We resolve path to existing file, and we create path to new file. And after that, we use rename command. Very simple and uses permissified API. Plus, about CP, we should copy file. For doing this, we resolve source path, we resolve path to target directory, we extract file name from source path using base name, and after that we create destination path to our copied file. And it was explicitly mentioned that you should do it using readable and writable stream. You can use native Node.js copy API, but I thought that it may be useful for you to try to do it like by your hands, let's say. And here we used pipeline API, which pipes readable stream to writable stream here. Okay. By the way, pipeline API could be used here as well, but it's really up to you what to prefer, pipeline API or this pipe on error, and so on. Okay, and also we have this mv command, which does pretty same that copy does, but in difference, the only difference that it does unlink. And for this case, in my point of view, you could reuse cp command. So probably you could just call this cp instead of this code, because it really duplicates what happened before. And after that, you could call unlink for source operation. Okay, and using rem command, you resolve paths to your file, and after that you do unlink. By the way, rem command could be used here. You can reuse commands inside of other commands. It's okay, and allows you to avoid duplication. Plus, we pass a different number of arguments here. Probably I would suggest to you use the same pattern you've used in CLI, okay? So you just pass array of arguments everywhere. So you don't need this ternary operator to identify which commands require which amount of arguments, and each handler destructure necessary amount of arguments here. Because you can see that order is similar here. Current dir on first place, pass on second place, and new file name on third place conditionally. MV, yeah. Yes, we do not have this mismatch, so probably you could use array. Maybe if you use TypeScript, it can complain a little bit. You should use some advanced typing techniques like generics or something like this. Maybe it should be generic function which accepts a different amount of arguments, or maybe you should use type overload. But if we have JavaScript here, it's totally fine to have this array. Okay. No objections, no anything else about file system operations. Let's check what we have next. We have system info service. And yes, we also have this validation inside of operations handler, which is okay, I assume, to have it here. It's not a REST API. We don't need many layers. So this layer with initial handling of command and passing it to service is the proper place to have validation in it. Okay, let's check system info. It's most I don't know, most easiest service of any existing services. So here we just have option mapping to system info handlers dictionary, and depending on option we perform different API calls. So in most cases you should only get stuff from Node.js module with some transformations sometimes like with CPUs, but mostly you should just learn which constants do you have here. So to get system end of line, you can just import it from Node.js. To get CPU's number in dedicated format, you should call CPU's function, and after that you need to do some transformations. For example, transform CPU frequency to megahertz, and after that print it into dedicated format. By the way, if I'm not mistaken, there are some differences between Unix systems, at least Mac OS and Windows, because if I will do OS CPUs, oh, it shows rate correctly. Okay, probably they fixed it because code like this was working on Windows correctly, but was not working on macOS correctly. So if you will have such issues, please do not deduct points for this because it's system level stuff. We can have some advanced logic to identify our user's platform and put it and adjust logic depending on it, but in general, it's a bit overkill for this learning task. Okay, home directory is not that interesting. Username is not interesting as well. Architecture just about calling function, and this is it. Okay, good. No comments here also. Plus, we have hash service. Let's take a look at this. We resolve pass to file which we need to get calculated hash for. And yeah, resolve pass, as I already mentioned, is a good thing to put into utils.js because it's reused across whole application. We create a hash, then we create read stream. After that, we pipe this readable stream into hash, which works as writable interface for stream. And after that, we digest hash in hex form. So let's give it a try. ls, okay, npm start, okay, cd js, cd review, ls, okay, let's go into current directory, cd, okay, ls, cd task 2, s, okay, and let's go into current folder, and it's named rs Node.js course. Okay, here we have readme.md file. Let's calculate hash for it. Hash readme.md. Oh, why it's not working? Probably I used wrong format. Hash pass to file. Okay, hash for readme.md, but if we use relative pass, okay. Okay, it was a typo. I printed hash instead of hash. Okay, here we can see that we correctly calculated hash for this file, and if we change it, for example, we should receive different hash. Yeah, we received different hash. Okay, cool. Looks like it works just fine, and no comments here as well. Let's take a look at REST modules, namely, let's take a look at archive module. So we have two operations, compress and decompress, which differs only in what API we use here, create broadly compress or create broadly decompress. And archive works this way. We get pass to both new and old files. We create readable stream. And after that, we pass it into pipeline to be put. Okay, sorry, I misspoken it. So we create readable stream from our initial file, which we want to compress or decompress. We create writable stream that will be used to write a transformed file into different destination. And after that, we call handler. And here we put read stream at first place. In between, we put compress or decompress stream, which acts as a transform stream here. And after that, we put write stream. And that's all. It should work just fine. Okay, so probably that's all what we have here. Student used streams in all tasks that are marked as tasks that should be completed using Streams API. We have this type module here, which means that we use ECMAScript modules instead of CommonJS modules, and we checked every file. So this is, in my point of view, except for this minor review comments, is a good example of well-structured implementation, which allows us to do simple and maintainable implementation of this application. Okay, we have a little bit of time. Let's take a look at another work. So it may be done a bit more complex way. So let's take a look at package.json. Once again, index.js. Here we have more abstractions. We have abstraction based on class over user. We have abstraction for file manager. Okay, what's inside of user? We have private property that used to store username. After that, we parse arguments to get this username here. Argv user, env user, fallback user. Okay, we have many different users, which is probably not correct because it was explicitly mentioned that if user is not provided, then we should use anonymous user. Let's check. npm start. Yeah, it uses my configuration username or system username. It should be anonymous in this case. Okay, we also have this file manager application abstraction. We have several private properties, and we use a dependency injection pattern here, which is also good for such implementation. We explicitly put stuff we need into constructor, so we can avoid these hidden dependencies. We have comment from student. It wasn't mentioned on anonymous user. Really? Let's see requirements. After starting of the program, displays following text in console. Welcome to the file manager username. Let's see. Anonymous. Okay. Sounds correct. Probably can be in scoring. Anonymous. Okay. Sounds legit. I didn't mention it explicitly in requirements, so yeah, it's up to you how to implement it. Both implementations are correct, sorry. Okay. So file manager has several methods like start. Let's check whether we use it. Okay, start is used here. So we get home directory from OS module, and we change process working directory to this directory. So in previous solution, if I understand correctly, we use something like more like virtual current working directory, but here we use actual process working directory. Both approaches are fine. After that, we call dedicated methods, process, namely greeting, print current directory. After that, we also use readline for creation of interface, and we put it into private property. So it can be reused in other methods. And we handle SIGINT in order to handle events like Ctrl-C or some other signals. And also we have dedicated private and public methods for using an application, which is also good because when we do not need to be able to use method outside of the class itself, I mean use it in class instances, we do not need to make it public, and we have solution inbuilt in JavaScript, private properties. Do not mix it up with TypeScript private properties, please, because TypeScript only isolates, at least its default behavior. TypeScript only isolates methods on IDE level, but in fact, if you will write code that tries to access private properties and methods, then you will be able to do it in runtime. But this provides you with real runtime level isolation. And we have run command here, print message, print table, greeting. We have many different stuff. But how do we handle commands? Okay, run command. We have command controller, which is another class that is injected into file manager. Let's see what inside of command controller. We are injecting here probably okay, guys, I'm not really good in theory. Maybe I'm mistaken here. You can check me using Google or ChatGPT or any other sources, but probably proper dependency injection should be done this way. It should be put inside of constructor as arguments. So in order to initialize class, you should provide it with its dependencies. It's written and initialized into class constructor, but it still looks like a bit hidden dependency. So we initialize command controller with just a file manager, and here we inject other functionalities, but it's done under the hood. Probably it would be better to put it into constructor to make it explicit. Plus, we have this mix of default and named experts. This is another holy theme in community, because some guys prefer default experts for such places, some guys prefer named experts. Both options are correct. I myself prefer named experts and imports, but anyway, you probably shouldn't mix it. So you should use one style for this. Okay, so as I mentioned, you could make commands handlers as class methods, which is also correct. We would not spend many time on this solution because we've already seen how it may work. I just wanted to show you difference when we use a more complex approach. So we have this class-based structure here, and plus we have help command, which can be used to get information about available commands list. Okay. What else do we have here? We have services, yeah, and it has name service. We have a base file service with which contains reused functionality about check-in pass and pass resolution, and other services extends this base file service, which is kind of correct approach for class-based solution, but probably these functions do not need to be part of class, because I would make it part of utils. Especially taking into account that you have this utils folder, probably a class for this kind of functionality is a bit overkill. But okay, you built everything on classes, so it's fine. Okay, we have methods for execution of specific commands here. Many codes with different checks. Okay, fine. Hash, it has method for execution of hash command. Navigation service, which has methods to work with our navigation. OS service to get information, and zip service to do compress and decompress. Probably it has some duplication, because, well, it's good that you made these abstractions, but probably you could reduce duplication but by putting some stuff into private methods, for example, because I'm pretty sure that this part doesn't really differs between two methods. Okay, plus we have bind all methods. How do we use it? Probably we use it in order to not have context loss. Bind all methods this. Okay, it iterates over properties and it binds it to current implementation. Okay, this probably was done in order to avoid context loss when we use methods outside of the class. Maybe when we pass it using not just dot notation, we may lose context. It seems that all service classes contain only methods without any state, so it doesn't make sense to use classes here. Yes, you are correct. This is what I usually say. This is what I usually say when I see class-based solutions, because well, classes are huge. They weight a lot, and when you need some specific method from class, you need to bring all the class to place where we used. So if you don't have very tight connection between class methods, and if you have tight connection between class methods, this may break another principles of object-oriented programming. So yes, if you can do, in general, if you can do some services, controllers, etc., if it's not required by your framework, because, for example, in framework like Node.js, you should explicitly define controllers, services, and so on as classes. This is how this framework is built. So the framework forces you to follow its rules. If you just need to make some service and you do not have this tight connection between all the methods, they do not have some internal shared state, and so on, it's totally fine to have a service as set of independent functions inside of single Node.js module. It's good. You may need. Oh, guys, this is another Holy thing about comment, about patterns here. Refactoring Guru is really nice if you want to familiarize yourself with existing and common design patterns. It's really good, and in many programming languages, this is the only way to achieve what you need. But in fact, okay, you have a comment pattern here. It's mentioned here as something that you explicitly need to implement, but JavaScript is high abstraction level language. And for example, when you just use something like, I don't know, you use this sum API, this arrow function, which you pass into some API is command, because you write some functionality code, you pass it into more abstract API, and this is a command pattern use. You do not always need these big classes to implement these specific methods and so on. Many design patterns are working inside of JavaScript under the hood. So maybe in some other languages like I don't know, in Java, which originally was inspired uh, was inspiring this refactoring guru website. Maybe this all this abstract factories of factories, this is the only way to do what you need. But yeah, I got it. We can also use lambdas in many other languages. Yeah, many languages implement these simplified patterns in modern versions. What I'm trying to say, you do not always need to use classes. You do not always need to strictly follow patterns for just following patterns. Okay, pattern is just a known solution for well-known problem, which is tested, understandable, and we know its implementation, we know its limitation. It's very good. But for me, like we have something like we have a bunch of patterns and we need classes for it, so please use classes. For me, it's not an argument, because JavaScript works very well without these complex classes, and you don't really need it. Okay, it was just step aside. This solution looks also very good structured. It has many checks. It has fancy output print. Sorry, I didn't have time to explore it properly, but I would just wanted to share it with you as an example with more complex implementation and more complex abstractions. Maybe this will be easier to extend than previous implementation, because we have more abstraction layers, but it's really up to you how to implement it. Both solutions have their advantages and disadvantages in terms of complexity and simplicity. So I just wanted to show that this task can be implemented in many ways. Okay, do you have some questions related to file manager task? I can answer them, and then we can move forward. In the meantime, I will be looking for next assignment descriptions. Please write your questions into live streaming channel if you have some. Okay, assignments. Code API. Okay, I see no other questions in chat. Feel free to ask it. I will answer it a bit later. Let's move forward. Okay, for this week, for this next week, you have two assignments. This is because they both are simple, so it can be done in 1 week. But please do not postpone it to the last moment because they require maybe just I don't know. They require maybe one evening for REST API and let's say half of the evening for basic testing. But if you will postpone it to the last moment, you may miss the deadline. Okay, so for basic testing, what you need to do? We need to write unit tests. First of all, you need to fork a repository, and here you have folders which contain files split into index file and index test file. Index file contains tested code. Index test.ts file contains test placeholders. This is similar to what you've seen in Node.js basics tasks. So I just wanted to give you some, let's say, framework for testing. You should learn how to write tests using Jest and learn its API a bit. What you need to do is first thing you need to write test for this simple calculator function to cover all the tests, all the possible functionalities. You need to learn how to write table tests using this Jest API. You will need to reuse your tests written here and just change it form in order to use table tests pattern. Plus, you can see that you have some functions that resolve value asynchronously, that throw error, that throw some specific error, that reject some specific error. So you need to check how to test that your function throws error, and namely how to check that your function throws specific error. Because in many cases, know that your function throws error is not enough. You should make sure that your function throw the error you need. Because well, if function just throws and something is broken inside, you will not know. This is flaky test. Please do not do this. Plus, we have this bank account class. So in this fourth part of this assignment, you will learn how to write unit tests for classes. Okay, how to test class methods itself, how to test methods that depend on other class methods, and so on. Plus, Jest allows you to do partial mocking of modules. Imagine you need to mock three functions of four inside of the module. So if you will mock whole module, you will not be able to do this. But lucky you, Jest provides you with cool API for this partial mocking, and you need to learn how to use it. Plus, you will learn how to mock Node.js inbuilt API, how to mock external libraries API like Axios, Lodash, how to work with this, what should be tested. And you will try snapshot testing and its advantages for big test output. So it's done pretty same way as you did in Node.js basics. You just fork repository, write your code inside of test cases. Please do not change anything inside of index.ts. If something is exported or not exported, or synchronous or asynchronous, it's done on purpose. Please do not change it. And yeah, probably that's all about this assignment, because many people don't have experience in writing unit tests, and I would like to cover it in this course. Okay, do you have any questions about this unit tests assignment? If not, we will move forward. I will wait a minute. In the meantime, I will try to find a demo for you. A demo for simple CRUD API. if I will find you, maybe I will be able to show to you how it should work. Doesn't exist. Okay, I see no questions here, so I will show you the demo soon. Let's discuss your assignment. This is the first task. You maybe noticed that basic testing was implemented in TypeScript. So in simple CRUD API, you have to choose which language you want to use, either JavaScript or TypeScript, but you will get, spoiler, you will get more points for using TypeScript. Plus, you can use some external dependencies in order to make your development process more convenient. So you can use nodemon for hot reloading, you can use .env for reading some environment variables from .env file. You can use crossenv for handling launch of your application cross-platform. Of course, if you can implement this solution into TypeScript, you can use TypeScript as dependency plus tsnode dev, which allows you to implement hot reload and resolve TypeScript. Plus, you can use ESLint and its plugin, Webpack CLI, Webpack and its plugin and loaders. You can also use Prettier, UUID, but I strongly recommend you do not use it because we have random UUID in crypto module of Node.js. And you can also use libraries which contain types declarations. It usually starts with at types slash something. For example, types slash node. It will contain types for Node.js. If you will want some types for .env, it will be something like types slash .env. Many libraries, especially that libraries that have good support, they contain type declarations in it, so you do not need types package, I mean separated types package in addition to main library, but still, if your library doesn't have it, you can use types package for it. Okay, what you need to do, you have to implement API endpoint users, and you need to implement support for several kind of requests. First of all, you need to be able to get all the users by sending request to your API users endpoint, and the server should answer with status code 200, okay, and all users records. Also, you should be able to get a specific user by ID. In order to do this, you should make get request to API slash users slash user ID. And it's a bit more complex functionality because if user is found, server should return it in response with code 200. If user ID is not valid, maybe it's not UUID, for example, you should validate it. It should respond with bad request status code and the corresponding user-friendly message. And if user ID is valid UUID, but such user doesn't exist in our database, server should respond with not found status code and corresponding user-friendly message. You can also create a new user using post method, and if you will send a request to API users which contains data about new user, server should respond with 201 status code and newly created user, or should respond with bad request if body is not valid. Plus, you are able to change existing user to update it. And yeah, just in case, we please pay attention that we use put method here, not patch. So it's not about partial update, it's about full replace of existing user, except ID. So please be careful. And you also should be able to delete user by ID, and in this case we return status code no content or bad request or not found in case if it's applicable. Okay, what is user in terms of our API? Users are stored as objects that have properties ID, which is unique identifier, is string, it's UID, uh, probably UID before. Please note that it's generated on server side. I mean, you shouldn't provide user ID in post or put request. You shouldn't be able to change user ID by provision of ID into put request. It's incorrect. ID should be static and it should be defined once. Also, users contain username, which is string and it's required. Age, which is which is number and it's also required. Plus hobbies. Hobbies is array of strings or empty array and it's also required. What means required here? It doesn't mean that it should contain some strings. It means that such property should exist when you try to create new user. Okay. If you try to make request to some non-existent endpoints, for example, some non-existent resource, it should be handled somehow. So server should answer with status code not found at corresponding human-friendly message. If any unknown error happens on server side, it should be handled the following way. Server should answer with internal server error status code 500 and once again human-friendly message. Value of port on which application is running should be stored in .env file, and it should be it should really work. So if I change this value in .env file and it's rerun application, it should restart on different port. And then we are going to advanced scope. You should implement two modes of running application. First mode is development and second is production. If you run application in development mode, it should watch files, and when you change something, it should restart your server. So you can achieve it using node-mon or ts node dev, or if you implement it in JavaScript, it's available under the hood. So you can use watch mode on starting Node.js process. If you run your application in production mode, you should have a different script start prod, and you should build your application and then run bundled file. Plus, you can implement some integration tests for your API. And you should cover not less than 3 scenarios. What is test scenario here? For example, you can get all the records. Okay, you can start your application and get all the records with this get API users request. And expected result is empty array because we didn't create any user yet. Then we should try to create new user and check that API correctly returned this user to us. After that, we can try to get the specific user, checking that get API for single user works correctly as well. After that, we can try to update it and check that updated user is returned. Then we can try to delete it and check that the proper status code is returned, and try to get deleted user, checking that this is no longer exists in our database. This is one scenario that you can implement. You should also, I don't know, cover validation or some other tricky cases. So this is up to you how to implement these scenarios, but not less than 3. You already have one in task description if you need it. Okay, plus we can implement horizontal scaling for your application. You can implement script start multi that starts multiple instances of your application. For this, you should use Node.js cluster API. And the amount of instances should be number of available something that's called available parallelism. Don't worry, you do not need to calculate it itself by yourself. Node.js has a dedicated function inside of OS module. A little bit of help for you, and each child process with your server should start on different port. So each server starts on default port values you provide in .env plus n, with a load balancer, which runs on main port, that distributes requests across them using round robin. What is round robin? It means that, okay, first request is going. Okay, imagine we have port 3000. Okay, so first request goes to 3001, second request goes to 3002, third request goes to 3003, and if we have 3 workers, then next request will again go to 3001. So it just does round robin here. So yeah, you have example of how it should work. So on main port, load balancer receives requests and distributes it across child processes, which are our workers. And the state of database should be consistent between different workers. So now what it means, if you created user using one of the workers, when you try to get a user from another worker, it should return this user, regardless of the fact it doesn't have it if it would be one process. So, how should you do it? I've seen many incorrect implementation where you send all your database across all your workers, but this solution obviously not scalable, so please do not do it. You should create some central storage. For example, you can create a separated, I don't know, maybe separated process or separated server with database, which should work with all the workers. So, this is how you implement it. And let's take a look at the demo. Let's take a look at the demo. Okay, so I have port 3000 here. So I start my application. And after that, let's try to use Postman to check how it works. First of all, let's try to achieve a non-existing resource. You can see that, okay, I have not found status code and message resource that you requested doesn't exist. This is my message. I have written it myself. Let's try to use users API users. Okay, we've got empty collection. Let's try to create some user. Okay, row JSON. I mentioned that user consists of name. Let's name our user John Doe. It consists of age. Let's, okay, let it will be 99, or maybe maybe 999. Very old John Doe. And it consists of hobbies, which is array of strings. Hobbies. Okay. For example, our user likes Node.js. Sorry, Node.js is not a hobby. I don't know, programming, learning AI, and playing League of Legends. That's it. Let's try to switch method to post and try to create our user. So you can see that server responded to us with 201 status code, and it responded to us with user that has necessary field, plus fields plus this server-side generated ID. You can see that I didn't provide it into initial request. Okay, let's try to get the specific user by ID. Okay, get, and we should have the same user. Okay, it works correctly. Let's try to update our user using put. Okay, let's try to rename it to Jane Doe. Age will be 111, and let's make hobby, I don't know, powerlifting. Powerlifting. Let's send it. You can see that name, age, and hobbies are updated. ID remains the same, so it works correctly. Let's try some invalid arguments. Let's try to send number as a name. Oh, I missed validation here. Okay, my bad. This demo is not very good. Let's try to create new user instead without mandatory property. Okay, you can see that we get a bad request with message invalid data in request. If we would try to make it using correct data, we could receive another user. And let's try delete by ID. Okay, first of all, guys, let's try to get all users. You can see that we have two users here. Let's try to delete one of them. This one with invalid name. Let's try to delete him. Okay, we've got no content response, and by default, we do not try to get body from no content response. And we can try to get this user by ID. We can see that it's not found. And if we try to get all the users, you can see that only users that we didn't delete exist. By the way, let's see that validation for UUID works. Okay, we try to get valid user, but then we try to get user by invalid ID. And you can see that we have bad request because this UID is not valid. But if we will try to get user by valid ID, but such user doesn't exist, we get not found. This is how it should work. About npm run multi, I'm not sure that I implemented it for demo. npm run, start multi. npm run start multi. You can see that we've started many workers. So main load balancer works on port 3000, and next workers work on subsequent ports. So the whole idea behind horizontal scaling is that your user shouldn't know whether there is one instance of your application or many other instances. From user perspective, or from, I don't know, from the side of any third-party application that uses your API, there should be no difference at all between multi and single process modes. And probably this is it. Let me take a look at your questions. Is it possible to use with bundle in CRUD API task? No, please try to use Webpack. First of all, let me say one thing. Bundling is mostly necessary for front-end application, okay? So in many cases, Node.js code is not bundled. But it still makes sense to use some bundlers because if you, for example, work with TypeScript, you need something to transpile your code from JavaScript into TypeScript, and if I'm not mistaken, TypeScript uses Webpack under the hood. Plus, you can minify your size of your application. Especially this is proficient when you work with something like AWS Lambda, because size there really makes difference. You may not see function code if code size exceeds 3 megabytes, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah. Plus, it's proficient for you to learn how to build your application into single file and how to run it. So this is kind of synthetic thing. Using bundler here, it's not really necessary for such small application, but it still can be proficient for you for learning purposes. But please try to use Webpack. Is it one evening task? I think yes, one evening task. Maybe 2 evening, but you have a whole week for this. So I think you have enough time, but please do not leave it to the last moment. Okay, so this is all about your assignments for this week. Let's wait a bit for your questions. I will answer them, and after that we can wrap up. Single responsibility is not only about classes. Yes, single responsibility is not only about classes. But originally it was about classes. Because where it comes from, all this stuff was represented by classes, I think. And yeah, today we had issue with missing make_dir cross-check in cross-check form. So I updated assignment. I made announcement about this. So please do not forget to check that you updated your score. I just split this 10 points for creation of empty file into 5 points for creation of empty file and 5 points for make_dir assignment, but still please don't forget to update your solution, because if I'm not mistaken, your submission may be cleared or overwritten. Not really sure how it works after update. Probably you need to do something with your hands. What will score points affect in the end? Sorry, could you please elaborate a little bit? I don't get what you ask. What will score points affect in the end? If you want to know what affects your score for this task, you can take a look inside of scoring file, just as always. So yeah. Some points for good description of your application, because guys, documentation is important and user guides are also important. Plus 10 points for implementation of each functionality. Some points for implementation in accordance to technical requirements, and advanced scope. So if you implement a task in TypeScript, you get plus 30 points. If you process request to non-existing points properly, this not found status code plus user-friendly message, you will get extra 10 points. Extra 10 points for handling internal server errors with 500 status code and correct response, and the application is not crashed. And extra 10 points for development and production mode. And you have hacker scope here, plus 30 points for API tests, and plus 15 points for horizontal scaling. Yeah, it's not that easy, but you do not need to complete everything. So you can complete, I don't know, maybe only basic and advanced scope if API tests and horizontal scaling is hard for you. And just as always, you will get forfeits for using of some libraries that are not mentioned here, because guys, I know that you can find some library on npm which creates crude API in, I don't know, in 3 lines of code, but this is not what we need here. We want to learn how to build these APIs using pure Node.js. Maybe you will not do it using pure Node.js, maybe you will use some libraries or frameworks, but you need to know how it works under the hood. It will make your life a lot easier, trust me. and you will get minus 30% for commits after deadline. You will get forfeits for missing pull request or incorrect description, minus 20 points for no separate development branch, and for less than 3 commits into development branch. So yeah, if you wanted to make single commit, think again. Okay, we have questions. This time we should work within master branch. Miss the point, no separate. You should never work within master branch. You should create a development branch from master branch, create pull request, and merge it after assignment is scored. In the file manager, we have commands property, such we have commands such as new file name. For the add and rn commands, is it allowed to pass full pass here? For example, test new file or hello. Okay, add txt or oh. I think in scope of this task, both implementations are correct. I prefer implementation that works exactly as described in assignment. I mean, not full pass, just file names, but take into account that it's not much difficult, more difficult or easier to implement it using working with pass, so both options are correct. Only file names allowed and must all operations be performed in the same directory. I thought about it as operations that should be implemented in the same directory, but if it accepts pass and it works correctly with this pass, it's okay for me as well. Yeah, I got it. Probably I answered your question. In the end of the course, students will have different amount of score points. In what way will it influence results of the course? Why is it preferably get max score for every task? Good question. You have answered to it in frequently asked question, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry. Let me see. Certificate. Oh, okay. In a nutshell, students that have score up to, sorry, not up to 70% or more from the max score in score table, they will receive a certificate of completion for the course. And other students, they just complete the course, they have their new skills and so on, but they don't receive certificate. This is the difference. Just in case, for now, certificate doesn't guarantee for you, like, I don't know, some training laboratories, job offers and so on, but still, if you will complete course as a top student, as one of top students, you will have this shareable certificate that you can show something. I don't know, maybe on your interview, or maybe you can you can put it into LinkedIn or somewhere else. So yeah, the difference is in certificate. So try to acquire as much score as you can. And it's funny after all. It's some competition that pushes you to make better solution, to do more work, to learn more. So I think it's still good, even if it doesn't transforms into some, let's say, solid reward for you. Okay, guys. I think this is it. We discussed existing solution. We discussed your upcoming tasks. I will create channels here for you soon. And that's all. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your questions and activity. And let's wrap up. Have a nice evening. See you next week. Bye bye.